Hello everyone and welcome to the Historia Scale. The intent of these videos is to explain why each character has achieved the score that they've been assigned through an exploration of the character's raw potential based on their stats and capabilities, so that when you get your hands on these characters, you'll have a better idea if they will suit your team comp, or, better yet, if they're a character you want to build your team around. Also, the entire scale is not taking into account the existence of constellations, as it is very possible that you could play Genshin Impact for extended periods of time with little to no constellations. The exception to the rule here is the Travelers, as they have the only constellations in the game which are guaranteed through the storyline, making theirs realistic for comparison. Furthermore, the scale is designed to award points only where points are due. The composite score should be seen as a mosaic. It is formed up by the sum of its many smaller parts. When comparing what it is that you are looking for, you should not focus on the composite score entirely, but rather review and absorb the other metrics to get a good idea of what a character is good at. Now, without further delay, the scale is covering Mona, so let's dive in. Beginning with attack, Mona's base attack stat is 46. Riding high on the chart, she earns 5 points. Next, Mona's normal attack DPS earns the max score of 6 points, sitting at the top of this weights chart, as during testing I found it to produce on average 320 damage per second. Next, for her charged attack, it dealt on average 549 damage, earning 4 points. Next, for elemental skill, we have a new metric that will be used on all characters going forward. Instead of the elemental skill being evaluated out of 6 points, those 6 points are broken into two 3-point metrics, the normal damage weight and the new cooldown metric. At the end of this video, it will show that several character scores have been adjusted for the presence of this new metric. I am adding this metric after a YouTube community member suggested that measuring the cooldowns makes the comparison more meaningful, and I absolutely agree with that statement. So, continuing on with elemental skill, Mirror Reflection of Doom scores 2 points for its potential damage of 1035 and earns 2 points for its cooldown of 12 seconds. Lastly, for Stellaris Phantasm, Mona picks up the max score of 6 points for its average damage of 3457 damage per target. It's worth noting here that the potential damage output is actually significantly higher, as each target is held, allowing ample time to decimate all enemies around Mona hastily. All points tallied up in attack give Mona a very strong score of 25 out of 30 in attack. Next is durability. Mona's base defense of 51 and base HP of 810 earn her 3 points in each category for a total score of 6 out of the possible 14 in durability. On to utility. Starting with travel add-ons, Mona's kit provides quite a lot of depth here, as when exiting her sprinting animation, it makes nearby enemies wet. She is also able to leave lures behind her if entering combat when sprinting for more than 2 seconds. Additionally, her sprint is able to quickly cross large bodies of water with ease. Lastly, Mirror Reflection of Doom is also able to be used as a positioning tool. When tapping the skill, it throws the lure away from Mona on the feet of the target. However, if you hold it instead, it will cause Mona to dodge backwards, complete with a narrow window iframe. With a bit of timing and practice, even abilities with longer reach and damage over a duration can be mitigated using Mirror Reflection of Doom's form itself to block the damage the iframe can't. For all of this, Mona earns 4 points in travel add-ons. Next, under puzzles, Mona earns 1 point, as Mirror Reflection of Doom can be used to trigger pressure plates. For environmental alteration, most of Mona's abilities can be used to quickly put out torches or fires, when necessary, earning 1 point. Mona's passive, Principium of Astrology, has a 25% chance to return a portion of materials used when crafting weapon ascension materials, earning 2 points. Now onto the Self-Reliance subcategory. Mona's kit is full of crowd control options, which include freezing enemies who are naturally attuned to the cryo element, luring enemies to a narrow location, and holding all small and medium enemies within a wide area using her elemental burst, earning Mona 3 points in crowd control. Next, for normal attack range, as a mage, Mona's normal attacks are capable of use from a good distance, earning 2 points. For enemy elemental resistance, she earns 0 points, as there are domains in many other instances where Mona will be left completely ineffective as a result of the presence of enemies attuned naturally to Hydro. Lastly, for buffs and debuffs, Mona earns 1 point for the ability to spread Electro Charge to enemies naturally attuned to the Electro element. Now for synergy. Starting with reaction crowd control, Mona, when teamed with cryo teammates, can trigger frozen reactions, earning 1 point. For skill share, both the effects of Mirror Reflection of Doom and Stellaris Phantasm persist when swapping to other characters, from which Mona picks up 2 points. Lastly, for buffs and debuffs, Mona can spread about Electro Charge to enemies when paired with an Electro teammate. All of these metrics added together give Mona a score of 18 out of 30 in utility. Lastly, onto reactions. Mona's 3 main reactions are Electro Charged, Frozen, and Vaporize. As she can use all of these reactions as needed at will, with all abilities, she earns 3 points in each category. Onto reaction area of effect, Mona's normal attacks launch ahead of her for a mild splash effect, wetting enemies nearby for 2 points. Her charged attack strikes a surprisingly wide area on target, earning 4 points. Mirror Reflection of Doom also emanates outward from its source on target in 360 degrees, earning 5 points. Lastly, but certainly not least, Stellaris Phantasm earns 5 points as it wets all enemies in its rather large 360-degree radius. All points in reactions earn Mona an impressive 25 out of a possible 26 in reactions. Finally, all metrics tallied together result in a final composite score of 74 for Mona. Here you can see where Mona stacks up against the rest of the roster. Mona as a mage is unsurprisingly squishy, but she makes up for it with her amazing agility and great depth and crowd control options. Building her as a primary DPS will yield the greatest returns for her kit. Her quick attacks make her an unrelenting force, but be sure to reposition as necessary and utilize her lure as much as possible to give you plenty of time to set reactions into play as often as possible. Pairing her with characters such as Fischl and Beidou yield great results for brutal consistent reactions over a long duration. Build her with attack and critical artifact set bonuses, while maximizing attack primary stats, along with a hydro damage bonus goblet if one is available to you. Most favorable substats should include attack and critical, as well as energy recharge to better utilize her level 70 passive. Crit damage is a nice bonus if your crit rate numbers are satisfactory. As a side note, I'll be doing some testing this week with the Solar Pearl to see how it compares to the Eye of Perception with this setup. Expect a short stream early or middle of this week, while I run some numbers and explore which option is better. With that, I've reached the end of all I have to discuss in this installment of the Historia Scale. I hope you found it to be useful. If you've noticed something that you think I've left out, please let me know, and I'll be more than happy to discuss it with you, and even issue a correction to the scale if necessary. Finally, if you did find this video to be useful, please think about leaving a like. While you're at it, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so that you're notified when my next video goes live. Thanks for watching Teyvat Historia. May the 7 guide you, travelers.